Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Welcome everyone in today's conversation on this sacred scripture in which we were discussing about the qualities of great people that are characterized in the scripture, and they are Sri Rama, Sri Lakshmana, and Sita. Yesterday we were discussing about those qualities, great qualities, and as the story goes on, as this history that is presented in front of us by sage Narada, who is discussing this story to sage Valmiki. And one thing I want to tell you, that whatever we are studying and listening and learning and understanding now, this is just a itinerary to whatever is going to happen next. I mean, we would understand this entire thing, this entire scripture in more detailed way in the next chapters. So this first chapter is just a headline of whatever that we are gonna study next. So it is just a sort of compact form of whatever is gonna be amplified in the next chapters. So we were discussing about as Sri Rama along with his brother and Sita goes to forest, and what happens in the forest after he has entered the dense forest and is now on the verge of crossing a river. And how is the river? The river is overflowing with water. Its waters are rushing. And from here, a general thought appears in our mind that how our life should be. Watching every part of this nature as I am discussing this matter from in many of my conversations, that every part of this nature is teaching us something. So this river water are teaching us to be always directed towards our destiny, towards the main purpose of our lives. The river water never slow down. They never slow down their speed, their velocity, until they mingle themselves in ocean. So this is a teaching, this is an inspiration to all of us, that we too never get tired. We should never sit still until we have reached our destiny, our destination, until we have recognized and reached the purpose of our lives. So what is the purpose of our lives? So this is the purpose of this class, of this conversation. What is the purpose of our lives? To understand who we are and to direct ourselves in a proper manner on the path of spirituality. So every person, whether he is living in this world, or actually everyone is living in this world, the nature of people is different. Someone is tending towards this materialistic life, someone is tending solely towards spiritual life. Wherever the person is living, whatever work a person is doing, the main purpose of human life is to understand himself, to uplift his inner self. That is the main thing, to uplift his humanity, and not just humanity, above from that, and mingle himself with this godly expression that is fulfilling this entire planet, that is incorporated in every part of this nature, in this universe, in this cosmos. So this is the purpose, ultimate purpose of our life. So doing all our work, doing every jobs, the water of the river quells the thirst of everyone. This river water is used in many purposes. It is used for irrigation. It is used for bathing. So it is helping us in all different ways. It has different purposes. But what is its sole purpose? The main purpose, it never forgets its purpose to just attach itself with the ocean. So the same way, whatever work we are doing here, whatever skills, whatever talents we're developing in ourselves. So the ultimate purpose of, except from doing everything else, the main purpose of ours should always remain to understand the best, the true self, the true purpose of ourselves, and that purpose is to attach ourselves with godly presence, to attach ourselves with the Almighty. And what is the meaning? What is the truest meaning of attaching yourself to that thing, to that entity, is that your life is transformed. You become a person who resembles godly expression in himself. That is the thing. That is the truest purpose of human life, as I was saying this in various of my conversations. So today, as we are moving forward, so Sri Rama has crossed the river and he has moved into dense forest. And after he has moved into dense forest, the sage is describing his life and how the life of Sri Rama and the trio that goes to the forest, how is their life? So it is said here, Deva Gandharva Sankashas Tatrate Nevasan Sukham. So in the forest, they are living a very happy life, very pleased life. So here we are getting a sense that every part, every aspect of life is filled with happiness. Only when we are living it in a deep manner, only when we have understood it in a deep manner, every part of life. Why I am saying this? Because majority of the people think that only materialistic life, only the life remaining indulged in this outside world yields happiness, and the spiritual life is full of austerities, it's full of penance, it's full of just giving away happiness, giving up happinesses, and just living in other deficiencies. No, it's not that. It's not that. It's ignorance of people who say this. Every part of life is full of happiness. Otherwise, no person, no human being would ever tend towards this. Nature of human being is to gain happiness from whatever it is possible. So whatever work we do, the sole purpose of doing every work is gaining happiness. And if there was no happiness in here, no person would have stayed here, no great people would have followed this beautiful path. So walk yourself through the knowledge, and these scriptures give you the knowledge. The scripture give you the truest sense of what the right form of spirituality is. So this is the utility of this scripture, of this life. So extend your knowledge. Just don't remain limited in your knowledges. Extend your knowledge and understand the life in a diverse form, in an expanded manner. And this is the thing. And mainly people just think that what is God? This spirituality is all about achieving God and nothing else. But the people who are living here, the basic form of spirituality, look, the characters here, this is a spiritual text, and the characters who are characterized here, who are described here, are living these worldly lives, but they are spiritual people too. Otherwise, why the speaker, why the narrator would illustrate them as examples in his sacred scripture? So wherever we live, we can live a spiritual life, whether we are living in the world with our family, or we have discarded everything and living a solely spiritual life. Wherever we are living, the sole purpose of our life should not be forgotten, and that is spirituality. And spirituality not only means to eradicate, to extricate yourself from these worldly things. No. Even remaining in the world, it can be a spiritual person, and even remaining in the spiritual world, it can be a materialistic person. This all material, this all thing is about your inner self, how you are living this life, how you are feeling about people, how your experiences are, and how your entire existence is. So this is the way. And as I was speaking about this entire thing, that our purpose of life should not be forgotten. And what is the purpose of our lives? To make ourselves day by day, to make our existence closer and closer to God. When we look in this world, majority of the people would never tend towards achieving God, achieving any such experience. And if anyone does so, if anyone is on the way to experience godly presence, he looks for him outside in different places. He goes to temples, he goes to mosques, he goes to churches. Okay, those are also the places to concentrate our feelings, to concentrate our emotions about God. But only those things, only those places cannot help us. So God is within ourselves, within you. Unless you feel Him, unless you have experienced Him in yourself, you can never find Him anywhere in this world. So first look Him inside you, first search Him inside you. And what is the way? This scripture is, this knowledge is the way. Upanishads are the way. Divine knowledge is the way. How to find that entity in yourself. They make you clear, they make your mind clear until you have trust in anything, until you believe something. Until you don't believe something, you cannot make your way, you cannot gear up to act on it. So this scripture is just make you clear that there is that entity present in you. And when you have understood that, when you have realized that, when you have believed that, and you have complete trust in yourself that that thing is present solely in me, in every person, and I am the responsible person to understand him, then you'd never fall into rituals. I mean, rituals are good things. Everything is good thing. As I spoke before, that every part of this nature is helping us some way. But the life is not only one thing. It is the basic ignorance of people that they choose only one path to achieve him, to achieve anything. They feel that my life is just this. No, your life is a diverse form. So life requires diversity. So working in every possible ways, working in all directions, from all directions to achieve the true purpose of your life is the utility of this life. So first achieve that thing in yourself, and once you have got that thing in yourself, you can watch it in every person, not just in places. You don't have to roam in different places to gain him. You would have to sit still and do good things, good jobs, and when doing service to this community, when you are offering your service, your nourishment, your nursing abilities to this community, then by doing all these activities, when your heart is purified, then ultimately, inevitably, you'll find that entity in you. And once you have found that thing, your life will become a complete life. So as I was saying before, every part of this nature is teaching us something. These birds are teaching us something. The trees, as the conversation started from the river water. So the river water, this sun, this moon, every part of this nature is giving us something. So what I was saying, that entity is in you. And you yourself would have to work hard to gain that experience. Look, that thing is far away from people who are unjust people. And that entity is so much closer to those people whose lives are filled with purity, who are piety people. So, and in Upanishads also, it has been described in certain verses that Hiranmayana patrena satyasya apihitam mukham tattvam pushan apavirano satya dharmaya drishtaye. So everything is just covered, everything is just cladded by this glamours and glitters of this materialism. And when you cut that thing, that layer, then you understand the truth of your life. Then you understand the true meaning of your life, and that is the true purpose of our lives. So here, as Sri Rama and his younger brother Lakshmana and Sita are living in the forest and enjoying their lives in forest. And how is the enjoyment? Deva Gandharva Sankashas Tatra. And this Deva means God. So where do these gods live? They live in heaven. So Sri Rama and all these three entities are enjoying their life in forest like heaven. They have made heaven in forest. So everything depends on us. Everything depends on how we are living. how our side is towards something. Okay, so unless you are happy in yourself, you cannot find heaven in anywhere, in any part, in any place of this, in this nature. So these three people, these three entities that are experiencing heavenly joy in forest, that means they are complete in themselves. They are God in themselves. So here the sage is narrating this thing to us, that we also transform our lives as the same way as these great entities did. So as I was telling you, as we were discussing on this matter, that wherever we live, we can create a heaven in that place, and we can also create a hell in that place, the way we live. So these three entities are enjoying heavenly experiences in forests, and forests are the places where we feel that we would pass our lives in utter pain and sufferings. That's why all the people were telling Sri Rama and all those, all three of them, to not to go to forest, because everyone felt that they like Prince of Ayodhya and all these three people cannot suffer, cannot bear the struggles of forest. But here the sage is describing in clear words that they are enjoying heavenly experiences in forest. And this can only happen if we are complete in ourselves. This is the part the sage is describing to us. And one more thing, that whatever situation that is arising in our lives in front of us, we should be able enough to morph ourselves according to that situation. And when we have gained this ability in us to turn, to incline ourselves to all the situation, all sorts of circumstances that appear in our lives, then no circumstance, no situation, no difficult time would ever be able enough to bring any sort of unhappiness in our lives, to cast any sort of pain in our lives. So here, these three entities are just, they have learned this quality, and this is a big quality. Today, whatever we see, whenever we see people suffering, people in pain, people in grief, in unhappiness, utter unhappiness, what is the sole reason behind that? That they feel to make themselves, to align with the circumstances that are appearing in their lives, to make their lives parallel to whatever situation arises in their lives. So when we learn, when we have learned this ability to incline ourselves, to mold ourselves with whatever circumstance that appears in our lives, then our life remains nowhere. We would find unhappiness nowhere. And these things, these situations, these circumstances, these obstacles are necessary for our lives. Because as I said before, diversity makes this nature beautiful. Had there not been diversity in nature, so this nature would have become a boring place. Here we are in tropical areas in India. So there are places which are always covered with snow. So there is diversity. Had this earth been completely covered with snow, and there was no diversity, there was no tropical areas, there were nothing on this planet, this planet would have become a bored place with snow. So everything, every particle of this nature has its importance. The same way, every situation that appears in our lives only helps us, only makes us harder. And when we have become a hard person, then we could do anything in our lives. Once we surpass, once we outrun a situation, a difficult situation of our lives, that means we have passed the exam. Now that type of situation would never make us unhappy, would never create sorrow in our lives, and if it happens again. So if we surpass, if we outrun a certain type of situation that people call difficult situations, if we are traversing that situation, that means that type of situation would never remain a struggle for us afterwards in our lives. So whatever the situation that appears in our lives, we should embrace it, and we should work with it, not work against it. So wherever there is struggle, wherever there is war, there would be pain, there would be sufferings, there would be unhappiness. So that's why it is said that war is never pleases people, never gladdens people, never brings happiness in anyone's life. Both the parties who war among themselves, both of them are equally unsatisfied with themselves. But when we are living in a friendly manner, so friendship not only occurs outside in people, in countries, in religions, and caste cults. Friendship also occurs within ourselves. When we have made friends with all the situations that appear in our lives, then really you do it one day and you'll feel that whatever situation that pained you, that pierced you, that pierced your life, that just nailed your life like it had never moved forward. And when you have started making friends with those situations, the situation would never be able, the situation would become friends with you. And how a better friend could ever inflict unhappiness on his best friend? So make friendship with whatever situation appears in your lives. So this scripture is giving us that information. This scripture is giving us that inspiration by characterizing all these great characters in itself. So this is not unnecessary that just needlessly the sage is presenting all these characters and just telling their qualities. It's not just that. It's for us. Everything that is in the scripture is for us. And when we start assimilating all this and the qualities of great people in our lives, and today, as we spoke, that this is the greatest quality of human life. Why this entire world is unhappy? Whenever we ask any person that, are you happy? There are very few people who would give a satisfactory answer. And why the people are not satisfied with themselves? Because they are in a war with whatever the situation is in their life. They are trying to fly away. And remember one thing, flying away from situations can never help you. Because if you evade one situation, the next situation is on its way to fall in your life. So flying away from situations, flying away from hurdles, from obstacles, from difficult situations and circumstances can never give you happiness. It always remain unsatisfied with yourself. It always remain unhappy in your lives. And that is the cause that this is the sole cause that people fear death. Why do people fear death? That they feel that the work that was necessary for me to do, I didn't do that work. And now when my life is gone, when I have understood the reality of life, when I want to work on those things, I have lost my power, I have lost my strength, my ability, the strength of my hands, the strength of my legs, the strength of my body. So that's why people regret in their old ages. So what is the way to do that? What is the way to reverse that direction? That when you have power in yourselves, you understand the purpose of your lives, you understand the true meaning of life. The true meaning of life is to make friendship with whatever that appears in your life. And when you make friendship with everything in your life, then nothing would ever decay. Nothing would ever rot your happiness. And when your happiness is not rotten, is not decayed, then all the time you feel happiness with whatever circumstances arise. And once you have traversed the circumstance, a power arises in you, self-confidence arises in you, and with that self-confidence you would traverse more and more obstacles in your life. So this is an example. That's why these people have become an example to all this humanity, and otherwise no one would have exemplified them. So here the scripture presents us Sri Rama, Sri Lakshmana, and Sita as examples how they live their lives. We feel that what is the life of great people? That they live in peace, they live in comfort, they live in utter happiness. But if we see from materialistic world, from materialistic eyes, these people have gotten the utter unhappiness in their lives if we watch it from materialistic eyes. But when we watch it from spiritual eyes, these people live their life in self-contentment. They live their life with utter happiness because they never maintained, they never felt any sort of situation in their lives as obstacle. They always took every obstacles as opportunities to lift themselves and to uplift this entire world, this entire community, this entire mankind. And this is the purpose of our lives too, because we fall in the lineage of these great people. And by understanding their lives, by understanding their works, by understanding their actions, their behaviors, their entire existence, their entire experiences of lives, this book, this scripture delivers us the experiences of what happens when you follow this great life. You become a great person. People pray in front of you, and it's not because people pray in front of you that you should live this life. You should live this life because you are a human being. You are created to live this life. It's your right and it's your duty. Today, we understood this scripture in a better way, in a way that was needed. And in the next class, we'll discuss the remaining verses of this first chapter. And you take care of yourselves and just help everyone, nurse everyone, and serve this community in a better way. Thank you.